Are we live? Can you hear me? Happy birthday to me. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be here doing a quick show ahead of Rocky's brilliant update and celebrate with everybody today. Firstly, I want to say a big, huge, massive thank you to this incredible community. You're the reason that we're here. That and Rocky Outcrop, and that together I think we've all built something really spectacular, really truly special. Over the past year, we've achieved so much on the Tradespotting channel. We've had really good deep dives, really strong educational, helpful content, and we've had some amazing discussions, especially on these live shows and on the Discord. We've grown loads, we've learned loads, and a lot of us have made lots of money. We've all had lots of fun. I hope so, anyway. Your support over the last year has been absolutely phenomenal. That's what drives the channel forward. That's what builds the community for the future. Whether you've been here since the very beginning or you've been here on the journey since the last couple of moves in these big stocks we look at, then it's great to have you. Thanks very much. All of you appreciate it. Couldn't be more grateful for each and every one of you. So there's much more to come, not just from this channel, but also from LPSN. So I'm excited about that. I'm thrilled that we're going to keep growing and keep having so many amazing times together. So thanks very much. And thanks for a brilliant year, everybody. Appreciate you. Let's make the next one even more exciting. And I also want to thank Kitties, who 5 hours ago tipped $50 and said, "Happy birthday, Jamie." Boom. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Kitties. Thank you very much, everybody. Hit that like button. Great to see you all. So there's LivePerson on the charts behind you. Quick update then. It closed at 1.06. That's 1 cent up from where it opened. And it's nearly a whole percent because this thing is cheap as chips as the price. Look at this, right? You've got interesting information, 15-minute time frame there. Price action put in a low, an equal low. It's higher on the RSI, it's higher on the MACD. It's actually lower though on the accumulation distribution there. And so it may well be that you need another little dip to completely convince this spotter. That's my new Instagram handle, at this spotter. Thought I'd made it easier to stay in touch, right? Stay in touch and stuff. So, I mean, as easy as it possibly could be is on Discord at www.discord.gg/rockyoutcrop, where I spend all my time anyway, so I will not see you on Instagram. I will see you over there. Right, so this is a 15-minute time frame. Like I say, it came back, tested a semi low, got a touch of divergence, but is that enough of a reason for it to arrest this extremely strong downtrend that's been in force since the anti-shark harmonic was activated? This is a potential entry, right, in at around 9.5 and change. We'll call it 96 cents because, you know, we have to decide on an integer eventually, right? So 96 cents, and there's the A point of that harmonic right there, where it could very well test again, and it could very well do it within the context of this downward sloping channel we've got drawn on the charts. It's a secret special channel that only Rocky Outcrop knows how it works. 4-hour time frame, all these different drawings become clear. There's this gap to the top side, right? And it's ahead of another gap here. You can see starts in at around 165. And all of that then approaching another gap, which closes up towards 238. So this is what we're doing. We're looking at LivePerson. We're extremely impressed by the CEO, by the CFO, by the transition plan, by the work they're putting in, by the level and effort they put into their communication with the shareholder base, the vibrant, exciting shareholders, which are so positive and happy, even when prices are going, you know, to their next buys, to the re-up areas, or however it is you're playing this particular chart. It may well be your first entry, looking for it towards the dollar. And that's still very possible. What was the low today? 1.01 cents. Oh my goodness gracious me. Lots of people looking at that level. Just below a dollar. if it slips just under that level, you could get an extra little chunk, right, 4 or 5%, which would take you in at around 95, 96 cents. It'd also meet this trend line that we've got on the go. On the 4 hour, you can see it's got a couple of touches back here. So it's not real yet till it's had a third, though you could likely extend that a little bit, change the angle slightly, give it 3 now and say likely the fourth will be a bounce. And if it is to break this trend line, likely that would be where you'd see a bounce. So maybe you're even looking as low as 64 cents. Crazy, crazy, considering it was up at 179. Initially, I'm thinking at this stage, we've not seen enough of a signal from a technical perspective to make a confident, committed entry at this area. But I do see clear areas to manage risk, which is why some people are buying it. Some people would be interested in buying it at these levels. I do think, though, it could slip slightly lower, and we have to be cognizant of that possibility and the reasons for it. This weakness in this potential idea of a reversal from here. And so we're aware of that. We're positive, but we're aware of that. And we are also committed to this idea that the trend is our friend until the end of our goddamn friend, and we don't want to betray our friend. So we're not going to commit to a thesis that would be counter to that current prevailing trend until such times as we've got good reason to do so, right? That it might have ended. And do we see that yet? Not quite yet, despite the fact that there is interesting divergence here also on that 4 hour time frame. Interesting, it's on that last little kick, but that doesn't actually prove true until we make a significant move up. We haven't done that yet, and the velocity that could come in to go back up through all of these different gaps and put in new highs on this leg of the trend and start putting in extremely exciting moves for everybody here. If it's going to complete that narrative and bounce like that, it might need to bounce like it's, that we talked about it before on other 3-letter tickers. You have to push the person in the life jacket down into the water so that they bob up and onto your boat again, right? So maybe it needs that kind of action in order to go through all of these different levels. And you know what that is, right, Scuba Gang? You're well aware of how that would work. And so we're also interested in these levels and the potential for any sort of a retracement that comes back and tests these important areas in the previous price action, which was very relevant, I think. So that's great that we covered that. Also, there's some news. What's the news? LivePerson appoints Richard and Rich Steves to strengthen global sales and partnership strategies. That's nice. I appreciate that news. It's very good news. It came out yesterday. And that's a PR release. So there will be exciting hype in that presented by the company. Our take on that particular information there. Let's check it out. The news. Proven tech industry leaders. It's LivePerson themselves making a strategic leadership appointment in 2 different roles in order to accelerate their go-to-market capabilities. That means their speed at which they are able to bring in new customers and deploy that technology on their behalf so that they can increase their growth, their rate of growth. They can accelerate increases in their economic activity, which is their core business purpose. And so these are strategic appointments in 2 important roles to grease the wheels that are LivePerson. You've seen it, it's in the logo. It's Rich and Richard joining the company. It's going to strengthen their partner ecosystem because of the experience and job history of these 2 guys. Extensive experience in scaling sales and building partnerships at top tech firms. So these are the sort of people who you want to have on board if you're a rapidly growing company in terms of your activities. And those activities, as we've spoken about, the big change, the transition plan at LivePerson is to streamline the pricing model and then to bring on, this is one of the big bullish aspects to the Tradespotting thesis on LivePerson, is that they're going to then bring on smaller businesses rather than only targeting the world's biggest enterprises. They'll also have an offering through the streamlined pricing model that allows them to bring on far more customers at a lower price point and then grow that underlying customer base extensively, which will be triggering all the KPIs, will be registering LivePerson as a successful growing company, not at threat of delisting, not in any way in danger of bankruptcy, and actually putting in a huge potential growth narrative, which will then return a tech multiple to the earnings, to the share price. And so the price to earnings that you might be looking at, the share price on LivePerson could go absolutely ballistic. And now you're getting in extremely low levels because you've been able to perceive this opportunity in advance, which means that you're looking at the beauty contest, understanding how everybody else is going to vote in this at a coming judgment day, and you yourself have already positioned yourself for their later decision. And that's what we're talking about, really deep value being the concept in trading, and LivePerson being that huge opportunity. Now, it's very true to say that LivePerson shares lots of similarities with other stocks. This particular press release and LivePerson's most recent earnings call also then hauntingly draw comparisons with GameStop's ghoulish presentation of its own data. That's not the message or the vibe you get in LivePerson. It's much more positive, it's much more energetic, it's much more enthusiastic, it's much more focused on the investors. And it's very, very refreshing. So these two new dudes, Rich and Richard, top quality guys, really properly top level experience and a great new addition to the team. They're going to drive expansion in Americas. That's Hackett. I'm not sure how exactly you pronounce that. Sorry, Sir Halkett. We hacked your name to pieces. He's going to drive expansion in Americas, right? Which is clearly going to be North America, largest target market, but also Latin America, lots of opportunities. We discussed that in the geographic opportunities for LivePerson on the paid side of Discord. So if you're on Rocket Crop's Discord, and on the paid side, and the link is via his Patreon, it's below in the description to this video, then you'll get the deep dive due diligence on LivePerson as it would be presented to a fund manager if you were at a professional company and getting delivered a report on a company that you were thinking of investing in or adding to your firm, though it wouldn't have necessarily been possible, certainly isn't when LivePerson's trading at so low levels, because it's penny stock, and so every cent it moves is a huge percentage of its total value, which speaks to the volatility, and that rules it out of certain risk regulated products. And so it's not yet available to those big funds, despite the fact that it might be signaling all of the things that would make it a really excellent buy for those particular investors. So you've got access to that DD on the paid side, and if you are on the paid side of Rocket Crop's Discord, make sure you check it out. Got top value and all the best chart analysts and most experienced traders there on Rocket Crop's Discord have got oversight of all different rooms and can see the LivePerson paid side thread, and that's where they would chip in with their top quality extra efforts that can benefit everybody. So I'd definitely say get on there and check it out. So Hackett, he's focusing on Americas and driving expansion in terms of the customer base there, and they're going to focus on enterprise and mid-market sales, which is exactly what we were talking about in terms of the Tradespotting thesis on LivePerson. So that's super positive there. That's the news. This is lots of hype in here that we can talk about, but it may well be making its way into a meme shortly, along with other amazing things. So we'll stay tuned for that. GameStop have released their earnings. We talked about this in a video yesterday. Pros and cons, bad news first is a good way to start, I think. If you disagree, then you should update your viewpoint, right? So that it's in line with my own, and then more harmonious, and then you'll be happier. Super positive, right? So let's start with the bad news first, right? Terrible revenue result. It's cratering there, down 30+%. And then positive news, that they turned a profit in Q2, which isn't an easy to do for GameStop historically. So that's fantastic news. Negative, that profit only came from interest, and that interest on money raised on the markets through a capital raise, which led to a dilution of current shareholders, which is a betrayal of the culture and the effort of that community, of which I am a big part, right? Though, despite the fact that other people sometimes dislike that, it's a reality. And I could tell you, um, my bank balance definitely agrees with that statement. So I'm quite happy to look at GameStop and continue to do it in the most helpful possible way, but that involves me being honest about my own feelings with the thing, and that can upset certain people who've got an ideological approach to their investment thesis, which I can tell you is a very costly way to operate as a trader. So, smarter ways to be very pragmatic and rational about things, which is how I try to deliver my opinion in that type of framing. So, it's very positive is that they've managed to raise that money in that it allows them to turn a profit when they're going through a loss-making period in their operational activities, right? But it's also negative because it's led to a dilution of current shareholders who've been involved in the stock so very long and accumulated quite large positions individually that every further 5% dilution, in order to recover that overall ownership percentage, it sometimes causes an extremely difficult decision to be made for the guy's or girl's life, right? With regards to how they'll spend their money, especially if you're a serious, pragmatic, rational trader, you need to make decisions like this all the time. And so it would be positive if GameStop's business model didn't rely upon external financing, because that would signal less of a long-term risk which presents to the company under current circumstances. It's not a prejudicial a decision or opinion about the CEO. It's a simple statement of a pragmatic fact that if a company relies on external financing, then there is a existential risk to that company. You might say, but it's got $4.2 billion. And I say, great, I'm not here to argue with you. That's very good. But, you know, companies on the S&P 500, which is the goal for GameStop, they've got tens of billions of dollars cash on hand, and they're not even anywhere near the top of that list. In order to get on it, it's a decision by committee, and you need to go through a series of different hoopla checkpoints, which GameStop at the minute are absolutely nowhere near getting close to. In fact, not only that, the price is taking a terrible hit, obviously, despite the fact that, good news for LivePerson, despite the fact that GameStop's got one of the world's most famous retail traders as a previously stated huge fan, whose actions have large implications for the price of the stock. Every single time he seems to hint at anything that might be involvement of his activity, whether it's associated with GameStop or not, there is this potential that GameStop will go up because it attracts lots of people. Those new people that are being attracted to the stock are obviously yet to buy it or are buying it in their action, which leads to disparity in the buying and selling pressure, right? Which means there's more people buying, there's not as many people meeting that demand, which causes a lack of supply compared to the demand, which means that there's going to be an increase in the price. Very simple concepts here, and that inequity between demand and supply leads to a short-term boost in price, and every time that could lead to a series of consequential rises and lead to a boost in price and a series of positive moves for momentum, it's kiboshed, kaboomed, knocked on the head by Ryan Cohen with a further dilution. And that dilution is enough to keep you on the seat of your pants, but not enough to completely turn you off the stock in its individual incremental, but that it just keeps happening, wave after wave of dilution every time there's any positive momentum. And this most recent signature of Roaring Kitty with regards to putting his toy in the bin and that having a dog face, that's very it's very loose links there, to put it lightly, between that meme and GameStop. And it's been suggested by serious people in a very credible way that Roaring Kitty already left GameStop ages ago. He told everybody by buying the exact same position in a very similar valued company that used to be run by Ryan Cohen and was seen as a way of saying departing GameStop. A lot of people have made that point in a very articulate way, better than I just did, that would be very convincing to lots of others listening along. Now, I'm not going to argue the point, but I understand where the person's coming from, and can see that the most recent meme wasn't mentioning GameStop. There was a potential for price to do something significant. It only ended up going to a Tradespotting line at $25 and change, where I told you it was going to go to. Very explicit about that. Though none of this shows financial advice. It's all for education and education and only that. Education, education, education. So that's what we're looking at here, and a little bit of entertainment. But it's not very entertaining when the CEO keeps diluting everybody and ruining the momentum in any series of consequential boosts to price. Is always being robbed in these dilutions. And now GameStop closing down then at $20 but 64 cents. It's 11.98% down on the day. Now that's a huge amount to take off the top of price immediately after the world's most famous retail trader intimates that he's going to be involved in the stock market at some point with a lot of liquidity, and GameStop is very highly strongly associated with the guy. So it does make me think that perhaps there's been a change in the tide here, and I would suggest that while it starts to go down or sideways, then there's this huge amount of excitement that we can focus on in LivePerson. It's absolutely brilliant coming in for an opportunity, right? Because this is clearly an uptrend with higher highs and higher lows, and it's off the back of an obvious reversal formation, which also comes alongside an incredibly bullish harmonic and a delisting escape, right? The great escape. Absolutely brilliant. Testament to the amazing shareholder base that this thing's managed to get around it. That's you guys. Shout out to you guys. We've done great here. So everything brilliant in LivePerson. That's the news covered. That's the new appointments talked about. That's all the technicals on the charts. That's the risk management opportunities explained, and a long, strong word of caution. And we talked about GameStop. We covered the earnings, the good and the bad, and most of it, unfortunately, has been bad. We talked about the current chat around the stock. Ugh, 3-letter tickers are so icky right now. And we also covered Kitty's message at the start of the show with that donation. Very much appreciated. Look at all those messages flying past now. Membership gifts and donations and people talking about higher highs and higher lows. Maybe RK went too woof, threw away the old dog toy for a new one. Maybe, you know, every dog loves a chewy, right? They do tend to just go from one toy to the next, don't they? Don't they, Jimmy? Not during Rocky's stream. Not during Rocky's stream. I'm going to send you to Rocky's stream after this one. Greetings to all live persons. Greetings. So, thank you very much for watching the show. Have you hit the like button? I appreciate you, TP, good human, and thank you for the work. I think that must be me. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, sir. Bartos gifted 1 Tradespotting memberships, and it was given to Angel Bates. Congratulations, sir. You deserve it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Bartos. Sarah, 36 months. Your anniversary, my anniversary. Half the house. 3 years. Oh my goodness. Half the house. I've put it all in Coco's name, so I've escaped that particular trap. Brew Lee, happy birthday, Jamie. Cheers. 50 PLNs, thank you very much, Brew Lee. Appreciate it, buddy. You can reply now to donations on this channel. Oh my god. Time to reply, super chat has expired. Oh shit, I missed it. Thanks so much, Bruce. Appreciated. Everybody else can reply to other people's membership, or other people's donations. That's a cool little addition to the chat box there. Kitty's never died. 37 months. Kitty's never died. Great to see you as an associate. Great to see you, Brewley. Gifted 1, and it went to flat for world. Flat for the world. That's like that story about the guy who couldn't afford to go on holiday, so he got really flat, didn't he? And he posted himself in a letter. Happy birthday, Spotter, you live in legend. Cheers, Alex. Dan Ernst, 37 months. Legend, also an associate. Happy birthday, Jamie. Great to see you, Dan. Thanks, my friend. Ghost of Dan, obviously. We chopped his head off. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Minner, you're a total legend. You've been stepping up over the last few months. Great to see it. Your streams and focus and education has got me through some of the hardest times I've faced. Glad I'm here. Minner, great to have you, my friend. There's Lisa, legend. 2667, 20. Have a pint on me. Happy birthday, mate. That's very generous. Thank you very much, Minner. Appreciate it, sir. Can I reply to that one? Time to reply is expired. There you go. Tough shit, Tradespotting. Cheers, Diana. Appreciated that. 199. Thanks. 5 gifted memberships from Go Win a Win. There you go, Dink. Great to see you, buddy. And Iger. Sean Bluegill and John Biscuits. Good folks, good folks. Think about renewing. Good folks. Cameron, $5. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Cameron. Appreciate it, Mr. Mirza. And Ams giving it. And Dean Mutter taking it. These are husband and wife. Congratulations. Cool membership gifting and birthday messages. Yes, thanks everybody. Very much appreciated. That's great of you. Dear Dad, met a girl, her name is Spy. Will come back home soon. Love you very much. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. We're back for Christmas then. We'll take her for Christmas. We'll get to meet her, will we? We'll get to meet her. And what else did I miss over on this? Does it tell me? Vis-a-vis. $100. $100. Wherever the year ahead takes you, I hope it's fabulous. Happy birthday, Jamie. Yes. Lisa. The year ahead. Well, up, right? Up. Over the next year, lots of amazing things are going to happen. We're going to go through a number of exciting ups and downs with LivePerson. There's a couple of other tickers it'll probably happen with too, if the timing is right. We've got them on our jotters. Well, they're here. They're here with me in my jotters. And if the time is right, and the moment is right, then there'll be more than just LivePerson to celebrate, but it has to be right, and LivePerson's absolutely killer, and I think the CEO is one of the best in the world, so it's going to take a lot to shift me into a strong focus on anything else, but there are opportunities, we'll see. They are jotted down in the jar, as I say. Also, not just that, which is about your success, which is going to be extremely fabulous and exciting. What else will we be doing? We'll be having a meetup, a real one, where we'll be there, Rocky and me. Oof, that'll happen in next year. It'll probably be in Europe. And then also, maybe, other exciting stuff will happen. There's like practical stuff on the immediate horizon. Then there's big plans, especially if things happen as I think they're going to in the stock market. We're going to have a big party. It won't be cheap, but you won't mind about that when that happens. I have a Lipson order waiting at 98 cents. You are very, very prudent. Very prudent. There. Kitties never die. LivePerson's in your joggers. That's naughty. Jotters. You don't know what a jotter is, Kitty. And you a teacher and everything. Oh my goodness gracious me. It's that thing you get at school and you have to fold up newspaper maybe. That'd be pretty tough news, right? Well, if you're real stuck in poverty, it might be newspaper. Usually that goes on fish and chips. On jotters, you would stick some wallpaper. You'd fold up, put it around your jotter, so that it protected it. Like a book cover. Yorkshire is in Europe. A true story. It is fast-paced moving around in Yorkshire. Oh, it's exciting. I have 50,000 share buy at around 96 cents. S&J Management. That's a nice area, sir. I'm a big fan of that area. It was not pretty silly on my part. Oh, just had a feeling it was going to reverse. Now I grabbed the 19 spot 5. 18 puts for next week on GameStop. Oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious me. So just having a feeling. So there's so much of your neurons firing in your gut, and so much of you isn't just in your brain. But it's good when those neurons are firing and they chime, that gut feeling chimes with not just, a feeling, because there's lots of different biases we can have, especially if we spent a lot of time looking at the charts. If we can't articulate what that bias is then, and we can only ascribe it to a feeling, then that's not a significantly strong buying signal, and that's not a reliable trading strategy. Sir, I would say so. But I would also say that there is something to be said for a feeling, and that feeling being in line with your intuition, that gut feeling being able to be articulated in terms of a bullish thesis, and that being able to explicitly identify the technical artifacts on the chart which speak to that real world narrative behind your trade. And that gut feeling, that's killer. That's what real traders love. So a little bit of that, a little bit less of the previous. I overall down in my trading career, I'll admit it. Oh my god, I'm shocked. I'm a Philly. I've seen your messages plenty of times though, sir. You stick around this time next year. We'll be millionaires, Rodders. Millionaires. I had a gut feeling at 58 cents, but my mind tricked me out of my intuition. True story. So you need to have a plan and stick to it. Never ever change your mind. Though I see that there is benefits to doing so. Currently, there are kitties in the chat who's put his stated interest and the target price in his last message. But also, I know that he did previously have his order into where price has already got to. So very cautious, very sensible for various reasons, and I'm sure you've been listening along. If you're not kitties, you'll have been in a similar situation before. You're waiting for an entry. You take your, especially if you're new to a stock, you think it's very exciting. You've got real enthusiasm for it, and you see price approaching your order, and you move it. Maybe that's because you've updated your thesis, as it was with kitties, who had technical reasons for placing his entries where he did. But maybe you're just doing it because you've got a feeling, and that feeling can end up compromising a very good plan. So there's always that little balance and that discombobulation, that butterflies in the tummy when you're trying to get into a position. You want the best possible value, and it makes a difference, right? 98 cents from $1, that's 2% less. And when price action's trending up towards 50, 60 bucks, should that happen, then those pennies will count for a whole lot more. So that's one way to look at it. There's also the ability to grade your position and grade your entry over time so that you can get price coming to you through the wave, and then as it withdraws, you're completely full. So that's another way of looking at it, isn't it? I am sure we can talk more about these things. I have increased my position size by about 5 times on LPSN through successful managing risk, looking at double or triple that to 10 or 15x with my current plan. Mr. Minner, he's a total legend. You can do what Minner's doing if you take the courses. www.technicalanalysis.school. Don't know what VNS is? Oh my goodness gracious me. Guts. ADHD meds. ADHD meds, they have meds for that now. Wow, what a wonderful world we live in. There's Jake, total legend that he is. He's with us. And the ground shakes. I know what it is. I know I need it. I know. I need it. All of it, right? Is it available? I'll have some. So it's my birthday. It's been my birthday. Alex tipped $10. Happy birthday, Jamie. Thank you very much, Alex. It's appreciated. Lisa tipped 100 and Kitty's tipped 50 earlier. And then we had loads of fantastic people chipping in with membership gifts, anniversary messages, and donations here on the show. Thank you very much. Minner himself, one of them. Diana and Kamran Mirza, thank you very much. Thank you very much, folks. It's appreciated. I hope I didn't miss anybody in that recap. Now you're getting a real update on the technicals, on all those things that matter to you, on all those stocks you care about most, after a tiny break between my show and Rocky's show. When he's ready to get back behind the camera, then you'll be able to tune into his, which isn't that good. I have to go now because he's going to be starting. So thanks very much. This is a birthday stream. I don't normally do a show on Wednesdays. I did this extra one, and Rocky accommodated me, interrupt him and all of yourselves with your regular Rocky scheduling in order to do this show on my birthday. So thank you very much for being here with me and allowing me to celebrate it with you guys. It's no small thing what we've done here, as I was saying. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Minner. Appreciate that. There you go. I'm a Philly Red. You got it. Unlucky S&J management. Very close, though. Very close. So, yes. So, did you not just say you had a 50,000 share order? Or is that me? It might have been someone else. Anywho. Make the most of Tradespotting. Make the most of Tradespotting. Get yourself a gift. There's no better day, because then your anniversary will be on my birthday, and then we'll be able to celebrate together, and then you'll be the best of us. You'll be the best of us, right? It'll be good. You gotta do it. And if you upgrade, then that's also what you gotta do. Also, it's Rocky Show, so you better be generous over there and glamorous. You better be also, that's important too, and healthy and very enthusiastic, and hitting that like button. Loads and loads of like buttons. So great to see everybody, and thanks very much for joining me and for everything we've done in the last year. It's incredible, really it is. Thanks very much to everybody. I mean, I'm gonna could start naming people, but then I'd leave people out, and it'd be like the Oscars, right? It'd be like, and I'd start crying and stuff. I start crying, and I start thanking people and strange people that really don't deserve thanks. It would be bonkers. Anyway, so really, just thanks to you, right? Just to you. Thanks so much for everything you've done. Help makes things so positive around here. We've made huge difference to probably in the in the tens of millions at least, maybe much more, in the tens of millions of dollars that people were able to extract from their GameStop position when they were leaving, which wasn't because of us, wasn't because of anything said here, but they'd already made that decision because of the actions of the CEO. And I'm not a shill or a plant or paid by a hedge fund to say any of these things, which is why people cry into their cornflakes about it when I do, and that's that a lot of people were leaving GameStop and continue to do so, and why a lot of people took profit at $25, and so many so that the impact of Roaring Kitty's things is now incredibly muted in that stock because of the actions of the CEO. So all we did was articulate, long before any of these problems became apparent, that there was this amazing opportunity in LivePerson. It wasn't presented as an alternative investment opportunity. It was just seen as something incredible that was going to happen, and traders, we took advantage of it. We contributed to it, and we're part of something very successful there now. And hopefully that next wave in price action, it rewards everybody doubly again for all the hard work they've done. But we've didn't present it as an alternative investment. That was never the idea. It was always just this thing that was happening right then, and we couldn't make it happen at any time in particular. It was right then that it started, and we were right on the right place at the right time, and a lot of people did really good out of that so far, and I expect it's going to happen because I see them, I know a lot of them, and they're not always chatting in all of the same arenas we are, but I'm aware of all of those large positions from people who've watched this show. At least I think I am. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. And I expect that when everybody sees your coming activities, then they'll be extremely enthusiastic as well. So very positive news coming, hopefully, from the company and on the prices. Thanks very much for everybody being here today. Thanks very much for Rocky making this possible. These brilliant folks. It's great to know you. It's brilliant to be able to do these shows. Thanks very much for being here. I'll see you later in Rocky's show. Yay! Hopefully you're also hitting the like button here and there. His one's already scheduled, so you'll just arrive there in a few minutes. Just arrive there with all your best friends. Just arrive and then hit the like button. Do that. Thanks very much. Happy birthday to me.